All right. Good evening, everybody. Guns in the 701 right here, episode 163. We got a great show in store for you tonight. Dusty Backer is going to be my guest. We're going to talk a little CWD, hopefully some North Dakota deer hunting. And of course, he makes bees, or he don't make bees. He makes honey. He's got bees. So we want to congratulate him on keeping that environment healthy. I love bees. They do a great thing on your land, on your place, and I love honey. So it's pretty easy there. So I'm gonna start off the show, everybody. And this is something I was doing a long time ago, and I just kind of didn't keep up with it. But I just want to say a little opening prayer. Good evening, Lord, thank you for this beautiful day and the beautiful hunting seasons that we have seen in a country that we all live free in. Please bless each and every person, bless our politicians that they will actually open up the book and look at your word. We want to bless our veterans as we just celebrated Veterans Day yesterday and just ask that we do everything to your glory each and every day. Thank you. Amen. All right. With that, everybody, I am going to bring in Dusty Backer, infamous Dusty Backer.
Hey, Clay, good to see you. Nice shirt.
I had to, right? I think I have forgotten to get you your shirt for Guns and 701, though. So we will take care of that.
Sounds good. Looking forward to it.
Hey, everybody. The chat's kind of on fire. One Shop, good evening. Plum Creek Rancher, good evening. Trampus, good to see you. Of course, JD over there on 701 Nation. Justin, good evening. And 2A701. Now we know who that is. That's the infamous Leon Francis. Keith, good to have you on tonight. Tom, great to see you. So, everybody, we got a lot of things going on, don't we, Dusty?
Always.
Yeah. So I want to start off with, and let's just start off with deer hunting in general, and we'll skip into the CWD, and it'll all tie together. Now I don't know which area you're in, but I'm in 3F2. So what area are you in?
It'd be 3D2 and kind of 3B3, kind of on the border.
Right on Montana?
No, sorry, like the deer units, 3D2 and 3B3, like northwest of Bismarck. So
gotcha. Okay.
On the border of two different deer units. So
right, and I'm in 3F2, way down on the North Dakota South Dakota border,
okay.
And in the tail end of 3F2 actually. So you know we are a CWD unit now. What I've noticed is of course, as you pointed out, and we've hammered this over and over, just you, me, and so many other people. I really do believe they're trying to kill the deer off in a CWD unit, just by the sheer number of tags that they let out this year. And I can tell you right now, the hunters that I've seen out there, you can tell they were just getting tags because there was some available. I think there was still some left over at the beginning of the season, doe tags. And of course, there's not enough deer to go around. Now, I'm seeing decent numbers of mule deer in this area. My whitetails are finally starting coming back. This was a whitetail unit for years down here. And when EHD come through, we had 3 bouts of this over the last 10 years, and it wiped them out. It's unfortunate because I had some killer whitetails on this place. I think I took a nice deer just about every year. But I can tell you right now, the mule deer moving in, I like mule deer, seeing some decent numbers, but there's not enough to justify the tags. Are you seeing that kind of thing as well?
Yeah, we're definitely, I spent probably 7, 8 months out of the year actually looking for deer, and I'm not talking a small area, a big area in both units, 3D2 and 3B3, which is, 3B3 is known for some pretty nice mule deer, and our mule deer population is pretty decent, but it's still not what it could be, and our whitetails is just, it's still awful. 4 years later, Clay, they are not making a comeback. It's slow going. There's a few big bucks here because there's been a few survive, right? But the doe numbers are not there. And we're hearing that all across the state, really. The majority of the places, the numbers are just down.
Yeah, I'm hearing that too, that the numbers are just not great. They're out there, but they're not great. Even I got some friends down here that hunt. They're in that Valley City area. Hey, Kelly and Lane, if you guys are listening. And we was able to punch a couple of their tags last year. They were looking. One was looking for a doe, and one was looking. He had a buck tag, but he said their whitetails haven't come back. Is it me, or does it seem like the whitetails have taken a harder hit, and no one seems to care?
They've definitely taken a harder hit, without a doubt. EHD in the western half for several years, and the snowstorm of 22, 23, many remember, on the eastern half. It just, our whitetails took a thumping.
Yeah, mine did too, and like I said, it just doesn't seem like Game and Fish. I suppose there's no money in it. They,
If there was money in EHD and keeping deer alive, they'd be all about it instead of slaughtering and keeping our numbers low because of the CWD scam.
yes, and that's what it is. It's a scam. Here we go. Just as the whitetails on the border, 2K1 and 3B3 are down too. So there's another guy, and yeah, let us know, guys. We'll put them up here. I think you're right. I think you're seeing these numbers everywhere. When I talk to people who, even east of the river over there, Jamestown, Valley City, north of there, up by Carrington, Pingree, and I was just up in that Pingree area here a couple months ago, and I didn't see the deer that I used to see up in there. I had relatives up in that Carrington country for many years, and now I got a buddy that lives up there. I'm not seeing deer, period. Not like we used to. And there's lots of reasons. You and I could go into that.
Yeah.
They blame habitat. That's part of it. I have no doubt. But it's not all habitat. It's not all habitat. I think there's a multitude of reasons, including some of our, and I know this pisses off some of my farm friends, but I think the way that we modern farm with heavy chemical use isn't helping either.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about on that topic. But the habitat is, to me, it's actually we need habitat landscape, but that's just really a small piece of it. You only got so many deer out there to breed and have fawns the next year. I mean, right. When there's no habitat buried in snow, that doesn't bring more deer back.
No. And let's face it, if you got habitat waist high, that sounds great, right? And it holds birds. It does things. It also catches a ton of snow in a bad winter.
Right.
And that habitat don't do you much good. In fact, I've watched antelope in particular. They just will not eat the hay. I've watched them literally be by hay and die. They'd rather die because they forage. They dig down, it seems like to me. And I watch it right across my road here into this hayfield. And they literally got snowed over, and died. And there was food right there.
Yeah, I've heard that. That's pretty wild. But.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And we could talk about habitat all day long, but it's just a really number of things. Like you said, not just the chemicals. We have to keep deer alive in the wintertime. We need survival rate at this point. We are on a major downward spiral. We went from 120,000 tags in 09 and 10 to a couple bad winters, boom, back down to 70,000. Then it started to creep up a little bit. 2016 back winter, 2020.
No, absolutely. It's crazy out there. You're breaking up a little bit there, Dusty. We'll see if we can make this work here, but if not, I'll have you log out and come back in because it's breaking up. But it's more than just habitat. It's like I said, it's a multitude of things. And I've been living on this place for 27 years. When I first come on this place, there was deer everywhere. I mean, you might not have found the biggest buck in the world, but there was plentiful deer. Especially if you just wanted to, put a tag on one and then fill your freezer and have some good eating all winter. It's getting tougher to do that. It really is. My place ain't as bad, mostly because I really restrict the hunting on it. I only allow so many deer to be taken off this place, and that's called management. I also have a good management where I do not graze it down to the nub. I like to see some cover in there, and with that, I seem to have probably more birds and deer around than most people do. It's a well-rounded management plan, and we're working on more. I'm going to put some trees in. I'm going to put some different crops in there that are strictly for things like birds, deer, and bees, which we're going to talk about a little bit later. I think it all is one big circle, and you got to keep it alive.
Absolutely, it is one big ecosystem. And you bring up a good point too. It's not, it just takes all of us, and that's what I want people to really understand. There's so many things out there to divide the people, but it takes the sportsmen, it takes the landowners, it takes all of us to actually truly manage the deer. We need to quit relying on these agencies that are doing a terrible job managing the deer, pushing the wrong narratives, talking all about habitat. There's so much more to it than that. And to me, us real sportsmen and landowners, we're the real land managers.
Well, we have to be. If I don't manage this place correctly, I don't have hay. I don't have pasture for my cattle. I don't have the other things that my deer and my birds. I like to hunt. I might be a landowner, but I also love to hunt. So I'm not going to do the things that are going to abuse the land. And I don't think there's enough. I don't know. There's not enough people mindful of that. I see so many things around here, and unless they're getting paid too, which that's a whole nother can of worms. I take no money. I don't participate in any program. I don't need their help, and I want to do it from what I think is a common sense standpoint. And I don't need to follow their rules, regs, and plant what they want and do it. I'm not going to participate in that. And to me, a true conservationist doesn't need to be paid. They do it because it's right, not because they get a 25/75 cost share on it.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe I'm off the wrong track here, but I was never a big fan of CRP. I was Soil Bank before that in the 80s. I'm still not a fan of CRP. I think if you're willing to do that, do it. There's a lot of ways to make that land make a profit, even putting into natural vegetation without having to take a government payment for it. That's my stand on that, I guess.
No, absolutely. And if people, if there's funds available out there to make the landscape better, for wildlife, I think that's a great thing also. But we were blessed, we pretty much were we only hunted and fished on permission land only. And it's about building relationships. We were just blessed enough to save enough money just a couple of years ago to purchase a little bit of land, not a big tract.
Right.
And my wife and I spent all of our own money. We planted about 4,000 trees. We ended up putting like 25 to 30 acres of switchgrass a couple of years ago. And there's a bunch of native prairie in there too, but the switchgrass in the second year is absolutely amazing.
I'm glad you bring that up because I just was looking at some switchgrass seed because I got a little area I'd like to try it out on, and it looks like it'll do well in this area. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, man, it's done incredible. They say year 3 is when it took off, and year 2 this year, it is like unbelievable, 4 or 5 feet tall already, and the birds. And this little prairie went from not seeing a single pheasant clay or not even a deer on it to we harvested a couple bucks off it already, a couple of real nice muleys and 50 plus birds in it in a year's time.
Awesome. So you just sold me on it because, like I said, I've got a few little places I want to try. I've got 2 quarters that primarily are my hunting quarters. That's like my little oasis. Not that I don't have game on other parts, but that's the 2 I've been managing and trying to build into what you're talking about. I want the game to want to be there and not leave. Don't have to leave. Granted, I can tell you right now, those 2 quarters seem to be the breeding grounds of every whitetail in the area, it seems like. I didn't know that when we moved here, but it definitely holds them. You might not see nothing there all summer. About August, you start seeing the does move in, and by September, the bucks are, they're starting, and then when the rut comes on, there they are. But EHD literally, you should have seen the dead deer I found around here. It was sad. I allegedly have some antlers that you're not supposed to see and pick up, but it was kind of sad to see them all and see how many died. Nice. I'm talking palmetted and 150 to 180 class whitetails. It's nothing. That's herd building there.
Right. That's just so disturbing. We were the same way. Found a couple 170s, but I did actually get the warden out, so I have legal tags on them. But it was so sad. I've never. We've lived here since 2009, and 2021 was the best year I've ever seen. We were a year or 2 away from 180s to 200s, and it almost killed them all, Clay. But back to the switchgrass. If you want to plant them where your whitetails are, it's expensive seed, but just prep work is the big thing. Make sure you start from zero and get that switch. You're gonna be amazed at the wildlife.
So while we're on that subject, so I've got 2 little areas that I have kept worked up because they were full chemical. Now they're free of that. I've got the organics back in. There's actually earthworms in them again, rather than it being a dead piece of ground. So, what did you start by just smoothing it out, tilling it up, making that land nice, or what was your process of doing it? And just
drilling ours was an 80-acre piece of native prairie that had never been cut or sprayed or anything. So it was just basically matted grass, like a foot tall, super matted grass. Well, I had some friends and neighbors down there. They went in there and basically sickle mowed it, raked it. There was quite a bit of rocks, and got it down to dirt. And then I did spray it once in the fall, that October. So nothing came in the spring. And then I had it drilled in the spring about May. Once the rain started coming, wait till your soil temp gets about 60, 70 degrees. And then you can hit it with some simazine too, just to keep anything from coming. So there's no competition that first year. In the second, third year, it just takes off, and then there's no maintenance.
Oh, I'm glad because like I said, I'm planning to put some in that along with some sandfoin. I've just heard great things. Back to the guy that has bees on this place, and they've had bees on this place. It's a generational thing, so they've been here forever. But I think he really likes me because I'm really actually interested in making it so the bees will thrive and do well here. And he's excited to hear I'm going to be planting some of that.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Any pollinator blends, even
Right.
even like not necessarily in with the switchgrass, but like little pockets of pollinator blends would just do wonders for bees and wildlife, bringing in the bugs and butterflies for the little pheasants and all that stuff. You bet.
And bugs are important. I mean, not every bug is horrible.
Right.
And I mean, I see so much. I get it. When you're raising crops, you got to take care of a lot of bugs. But when you do that, generally you take out a lot of good stuff too, unfortunately. And I think that's what you see. Like there's 2 quarters south of the two that I hunt the most, and it's farmed the fence line, border to border. There was a nice crick in there. It's gone. They farmed through it, kill it, spray it, plant it, spray it, kill it. Take a shovel and a bucket out there and see if you can get an earthworm out of it, because you can't. There's nothing left there. I mean, once they're done with it, I mean, you can have all the moisture like we had this year down here.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't even a weed in there. That's how dead that soil is, and it's so compacted because they haven't done nothing with it for years. But yeah, I guess I'm not a greenie. I wouldn't call myself that, but I do believe there's a certain balance for all these practices, but you don't just do one all the time. That's what my thought on it.
Yeah. It's definitely a process, I think, too, with a lot of things. It's not just one thing. It's a process.
Right. All right, I'm gonna get to a few of these comments because they've been rolling in. Yeah, Boom Country over there. He says all of our deer numbers are down in the Badlands. I've heard the same thing. I know a few people are out there. I've seen some nice bucks taken out of the Badlands, but I'm not seeing the pictures I usually do. 11C1B, Department of Game and Fish Mismanagement. Boy, I call him that all the time. By the way, when you tell that right to Jeb's face, he doesn't like it either.
You got to put that ego to the side.
Yeah. Keith says, do you think that you can get 3 to 4 tags per person is also part of this? Archery rifle, muzzle loafer, I think he means muzzle loader, and gratis. I don't know, Keith. I mean, so I can only get one gratis tag, and how it's set up, it's every 150 acres in North Dakota you can put in, but you can't hunt, say, 3,200 acres with that one tag if you didn't list every single piece of land. I don't know if people understand that with the gratis tag system. You literally, when you apply, you have to list the parcels of land that you're going to be hunting. So if you put in just 2 quarters, you can only hunt those 2 quarters. If you put in 5 quarters, you can hunt them. So, myself and both my boys, we each get, a gratis tag each. And we choose different pieces of land. But I can only shoot on the ones I have on my gratis tag. I don't know if that makes a difference, Keith. I do think having so many. I think what you're going to see with the low population of deer, and now they're already talking. I don't know if you heard about this, Dusty. They're talking about trying to set up something like they did with the damn antelope system, where they take 50% of the tags, and if you hit that 50% threshold for gratis tags, then you go in a lottery. Well, that worked really well for them this year. I know so many antelope hunters that they didn't get on land to even get a chance, and they used 5, 6, 10 years of points to get that tag, and nothing. So nice job, Backcountry and Sean Cleary.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I
did hear that topic, though, when it comes to the deer too. We definitely need to hit on that, Clay, a little bit at some point.
Yeah, I think eventually you're gonna, if this keeps moving in that direction, I got nothing against the other seasons, but I think you're gonna see it move into a one tag system. I mean, I don't know because if they try to mess with the gratis tag system into deer hunting,
right?
They think they got problems between landowners and hunters now. I don't suggest they go there, honestly.
No, the division's already there, and we need to remember too, before there's any more division, our tags are low because of mismanagement.
Right.
Our deer are almost at an all-time low, like back in the 60s, as far as having 42,000 tags
Yeah.
because of mismanagement. We don't need to cut tags from landowners or anyone else. If anybody's going to take a hit, it needs to be just everybody overall. It's not the landowners. It's the mismanagement of our deer population. And we need to remember that.
It really is. It has been mismanaged. A lot of people say they do a good job on fisheries. I guess you could say that. I mean, I fish. I like to fish. I'm not very good at it. I always try to go with someone who knows what they're doing, so I catch fish. Love to eat fish. But I do believe that, when I come from South Dakota, and I do think that North Dakota has better fisheries as a whole. And I'm not talking the big lakes like Sakakawea, which are great, but they do a lot better job, especially with their smaller ones, it seems like. And it does seem like there's more fishing opportunities in North Dakota than there ever was for me in South Dakota, unless I wanted to travel way the heck out of the area. So, I mean, we got Shade Hill Reservoir. It's not great. It used to be you could catch nice walleyes, and the things they implemented down there, now you can catch a whole bunch of little ones you can't keep. That's a whole nother subject. And but I do think they probably do a better job of it. But when it comes to especially big game, I think North Dakota stinks at it. I truly do.
Well, it just goes to show. I mean, we're seriously on a downward spiral after years, Clay. It's like they need to do something different. Like, how about actually working with the people, not just the landowners, but the sportsmen instead of their groups? And you know who the groups are that sit at the table.
Oh, I do.
It's not working. It's not working well for them. They've lost total trust with the public and majority of the sportsmen. So something needs to change.
It's going to get interesting here. So I've been appointed to the North Dakota Outdoor Heritage Fund Advisory Board.
That's great.
That will be an interesting board meeting, the first one, I imagine. I think Kelly and I am pretty sure on some things we're definitely right there. And I know he mentioned that he liked the fact that, landowner, I'm involved with ag. And I really don't think that's represented very good on that board. And it's all them groups you were just talking about. For some reason, they all have a seat there. And it's funny when I go look at the past meetings, they all seem to be within kumbaya of each other. I'm not going to be that guy. And, I'm part of Farm Bureau, so I hold Farm Bureau seat. They get a permanent seat there. And I feel that that's my job to represent North Dakota Farm Bureau on there, not necessarily my personal feelings, but my personal feelings and Farm Bureau's pretty much align the same way when it comes to our thoughts on that board. So who knows? I know some of the things I'd like to see done with that $15 million, but we shall see because I'm only one guy.
That's all right, though, Clay. I'm glad you're in there.
Yeah, I'll give one thing about it. We have a platform. I can give reports to anybody about what's happening. That's great. Because I don't think, you can go in there and read the minutes. I noticed the website is it's not updated real well, and it's vague. Okay. I always hate things that are vague when you're dealing with things like, funds like that. Why is that so vague? Oh, I know why, but we'll go into that some other time. Tell you what, we are coming up on the bottom of the hour already. It's hard to believe, isn't it? Let's take our first break, and then we'll come right back, and we'll keep diving into this. We'll get to some more of these comments. I haven't forgotten them, everybody, so we'll do comments when we get back here and have a little more fun with Dusty. We'll see you guys on the flip side here.
LAUER Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at LAUER Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with LAUER, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. LAUER Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at LAUER Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's LAUER Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
When you want it done right,
Go where lemons go.
Kalen's Auto Service, owned and operated by Kalen and Misty Foss, lifelong locals with over 25 years experience. From modern rides to classic restorations, they can handle it all. Top quality work, fair price, and honest hometown values. Located just 1 block south of Highway 12 on 6th Avenue West in Lemon, Kalen's Auto Service, serving you with all your auto repair needs.
All right, we are back. Guns of the 701, episode 163, right here tonight, November 12th. And we, of course, are powered by Lauer Auto Repair. Doug and the boys do a great job. It's hunting season. Get in there, get your vehicle checked over. I know what you guys do with them 4-wheel drives, so you probably need to go visit Doug. You probably need some repairs now after this first weekend. So anyway, stop in there, 309 South Washington Street. And, of course, 701-258-6308. All right, let's get to a few of these comments here. We did that one. Here's one here. It says, it didn't help that the tree hedges around the south end of Autobahn were cut down either. Whoever decided on doing that was necessarily an idiot. I guess I'm not aware of that, but that don't seem like that'd be very productive, does it?
No, it doesn't. But I did hear, though, that they've been tearing out a lot of the Russian olive trees.
Oh,
I don't know.
I suppose. So you know what that's about, don't you?
No, I've heard about it, but I'm not super familiar with it, Clay. So fill everybody in.
The state of North Dakota pretty much has classified the Russian olive tree an invasive species and a weed, and some of these programs that they put together to plant trees, you can't plant those anymore. They don't qualify. They're not illegal. They're just the state don't want them, and they don't think they should be here, which I think is so dumb. They're very drought resilient. I don't know about you, but pheasants and grouse in my area love them.
Yeah.
And they provide a lot of shelter in the winter, when it kills things.
Well, it doesn't make a lot of sense when we're talking habitat and they're pushing habitat, but then we're tearing out the Russian olive trees that are incredible habitat.
I know. I mean, I'm not sure what, I remember when I went to a couple meetings over there in Selfridge at the FSA and they were holding them. I go, what are you guys doing here? Well, the state, it's about money, just like CWD. They can't get money if they include them in their program. So rather than even question it, okay, well, we'll get rid of them or we just won't put them in the program. It's like, wow. Yeah, kind of, it's horrible. So,
okay.
Oh, let's see here. This is Jamie says we passed up on a couple big young mule deer bucks already. That's definitely for future population and genetics in the area. Hopefully the road hunting meat for the pot doesn't shoot them. Yeah. Oh my goodness, the road hunters I've seen this weekend too. Hey, Kevin, good to see you out there in PA. Doug says the people are going to farm the government will find a way to farm the government. That's true, and I'm seeing that. I see it all around me. I'm the little island out here in the middle of so many big operators. So if it wasn't for the fork horn that I got with the car on Thursday night, I don't think I'd get one. Yeah, isn't that something? I don't know. Minnesota, if you hit a deer with your car, you can actually call and get a tag for it. They'll come out and they'll say, yep, if you want to take that home and have it, you sure can. I guess I don't even know what the rule is here in North Dakota.
I think you can do the same here too. You can call the sheriff's department even, and they can get you a carcass tag. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to spend $5,000, which is what's going to cost to fix one of your plastic vehicles today, you might as well get the deer, right?
That's right. Might as well make some deer burger.
Jamie, yes, he says you acquired a virus. I caught a pretty good cold here. I'm a little bit congested. Yeah, that's true. It probably comes through. I feel fine, but yeah, I did evidently catch a little bit of cold. I know that my one son brought it home probably. He was in town. Who knows? You know what teenagers do, so who knows what they were doing. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how he caught it. But I'm about through it. If I don't get through it here the next day, I'll pop another sulfa and we'll be good to go. Calf boluses work great. Keith just cut out the out-of-state hunters. So I put that up there because I'm sure you've heard this too, right? With such low population of deer, and let's face it, it seems like there's too many tags. Do we eliminate non-residents for a while?
That seems like something that maybe should happen. I mean, it's hard to give, it's to me, it's not fair for the outfitters in North Dakota because a lot of them get non-resident tags. But if our tag numbers are that low, but again, I don't want to single anyone out. Like I don't want to single the gratis out. I don't want to single the non-residents out because that's really not the overall issue. I know our deer numbers are low, but why are they low? How can we get them back? It's because of mismanagement. So to me, cutting out the hunters really should not be an option. We need to come up with a different plan.
So, I mean, and I agree. I completely agree. It's not one group's problem or the other. It really isn't. It is a management problem. We've been seeing it I've been seeing it for years. You've been seeing it for years. I've been fighting with Game and Fish forever. Their ideas, throw more money at it. We'll make more habitat. They always are looking at the wrong way to solve the issue. So my solution to this, first of all, everybody that knows this is going on, you need to attend the legislative sessions. Okay. Everything is set by the legislature as to what the Game and Fish does. It just is in this state. You don't have a game commission like you do in South Dakota. Everything comes through legislation and through the governor. He makes proclamations for them as well. And they set tentative dates, things like that. But if you want to see true reform as to what they're doing, you need to get up there and testify and push your senators and push your reps to do the right thing rather than just throw more money at it. Am I wrong on that?
No, Clay, you bring up a great point, and just more people need to get involved with legislation. And not that it's the funnest thing to do, but we know, and you know as well as I do, you can make a change. We just need more people because a lot of those legislators in there, and especially some of the ones that head up the committee, they are really good friends with the Game and Fish. It's pretty disgusting and disturbing, actually.
Yeah.
We need more people. We need more power behind us, power in numbers. So, no, you're right, Clay.
Absolutely. Well, we saw how that happened with you guys. This movement right here, and I wish I'd have known what you guys were doing. I'll be honest, I wasn't paying attention. I got in on the tail end, but I'm sure glad I did. And
I'm sure glad you did too.
I mean, to see that pushed over the goal line, that was great. And that's what happens when you show up. And you don't have to fill a room with hundreds of people. You just have to be the majority in there and stand out. I mean, that's the way it is up there. I'm always amazed at how you put 20, 40, 50 people in a committee room that's designed for 20.
Right.
And you're in unison and you guys are saying the same thing. Those guys get a little bit nervous, don't they?
They sure do. Absolutely. Yep. You always have a couple that give you fits in there, but it just, one person says you can't do it. That's just not true. One person can make a difference.
Absolutely. And one person alone banded together with another person who was alone and another person.
Exactly.
I'm telling you, we've done it on gun legislation. I watched you guys do it on this, and we've done it on some other things. I know that there was several different committee hearings that took place between both houses on thermals. I didn't make them, but I know Jesse Flath was part of that and some others. And thermal finally got through. Not how we wanted it, but it was a step in the right direction. Remember, too, generally with legislation, it's going to be baby steps. It's going to be baby steps. Ask for the world, but always have your place where you'll compromise because you're only going to get so much that first year.
And you bring up a good point, but we don't like compromise at all, especially on certain situations. It's like, no, this is not compromisable.
Well, I agree. Sometimes you got to dig in and say, nope, I'm fighting that fight. I will die on this hill, and I have.
Right.
but, sometimes you sit there and go, all right. And it's a good example was I knew they'd never be able to outlaw guns in this state, right? That's just not going to happen. But we wanted reciprocity, concealed carry reciprocity, which I don't believe in concealed carry, period. But it existed, right? Okay, let's get it in. It's a reciprocity between states. My whole goal was constitutional carry, which we finally got over the finish line. There was some tweaking to do on it. We won that. There's still some tweaking to do within that legislation, but we finally got it over the goal line. Now we can work on fixing the little things and eliminating the others and making it better. And we've done that. It's pretty good. It's not as good as South Dakota's yet, but it's pretty good.
That's a great start, though. Yep.
Okay, so it says, is this session that you are talking about, I want to attend. And so to do a few other people. So next session, this is a biannual thing with North Dakota, it'll be 2027. So January of 2027. I don't know what the opening date is. Do you off the top of your head?
I'm not sure. It's usually around the 15th of January, typically.
Right. They usually wait till after all the elections, all the
Yep.
new people are seated. So it's going to be in 2027. Just if you stay tuned right here, and when we get our new site up, and that's my fault, I haven't been able to communicate with the gal that's doing it. But we have redesigned our site. We're going to try to get that launched here, hopefully by the end of the month now. And we're going to try to have a place there that when session goes in, we're going to have a place where it updates. You can see it. You'll be able to know. Now, we ain't going to be able to track everything. It's impossible to track everything.
Right.
But I definitely will try to track those things that are Second Amendment, hunting related. That's what we did last year. So we'll probably do it. Property rights are a big thing. But to me, they're all three intertwined. So
That's great.
that's the goal anyway.
Yep.
All right. Get back to a few more of these. So out of state, let's see, back up here. Yeah, cut out the out. So I like that idea. Out of state hunters, here it is, are extremely annoying. This is from Kevin Gills. Glad you're on, Kevin. Of course, we get the Flatlanders from Ohio out here in Pennsylvania. So, I mean, they can be. Here's where I am on that. I've been an out-of-state hunter in other states. I mean, I've hunted Colorado, Florida, Wyoming, Montana. Never tipped into Idaho. Always wanted to go. But I've been in a lot of states and been that out-of-state hunter. I think what we've lost, and maybe that makes them annoying, is when I did that, I did my research. I'm sure you've hunted out-of-state too, right?
Yep, sure have.
I always did my research ahead of time, looked at the areas I wanted to apply for, and I did that by looking at, essentially draw success. Because, I mean, you want the best success if you're going to go out there. But I also looked at the success rates then of filling that tag. Excuse me. And then I started making calls. I mean, is that kind of what you do?
Well, out of state, we've actually just built relationships, Clay, I guess. And, in Texas and Montana and Nebraska, just more relationships, I guess. We've never really just gone in blind like that.
Right.
As far as drawing tags and stuff, just more relationships and friends to hunt with than just going out of state.
Well, absolutely. You got to build them relationships. But I used to go out to Wyoming. I had friends out in Wyoming, but I was hunting south of Gillette down by Wright for antelope.
Mm-hmm.
We started out on the public lands. Actually got a couple nice antelope out there, but we went into a little town at Wright to eat. That's where we made our relationships. That was a little local watering hole and the bar and grill, and everybody was eating. I am just catching it with my voice today. And doing that, I made lifelong friends where I went out there for 3-4 years in a row hunting that area after that. I don't think today it seems like a lot of out-of-state hunters, I don't think they put that footwork in. I just don't see it. I see them show up out here. I got some public access land north of me here that's part of an allotment system that is part of my base acres that I run cattle on. And I'm telling you, they just show up out of nowhere. They don't even know where they're going, and then can't understand why they can't gain access, because you show up on opening day. I already had hunters here.
Right.
And those guys, we became lifelong friends. They showed up here 4 years ago, asked me to hunt. I'd already filled my tag. Yep, let's get her done. It's a longer story than that, but they were great people. They respected the land and they did it right. It can be done, but you got to put the time in. I can't stress that enough.
Right. We're not anti-non-resident hunters either, because that was a big thing in North Dakota. It's a lot of stuff not posted. Well, now after what's been going on with the mismanagement, there's so much land that's been locked up under lock and key, and people are getting frustrated, residents, non-residents, and we just need a change.
Well, so when they did the gratis thing, I was one of them that, I already had it. I manage my land, so I don't just let anybody hunt it. It's such a foreign idea coming from South Dakota that someone can walk on my land if there's no sign up. It blows my mind. But that's right now what it is here. It's just such a foreign thing to me. So I do that anyway. Then when that happened, I didn't have an antelope tag. Guess what? Nobody else hunted antelope here either. So there's 3,200 acres, and it wasn't just me. The neighbor didn't. So in this little area alone, there was about 10,000 acres just boom, gone.
Locked down, geez.
And that did take a dent. And yeah, so they increased the tags from 80 to 160 in 6A for antelope season. They hit the 50% threshold. We went into a draw, and I don't know how many they had. They haven't showed me the number for gratis. Isn't that funny?
Okay.
Yet. So, but it didn't work very well for them because now you have, 160 people out there or 160 tags out there.
Sure.
That was just here where about 10,000 acres disappeared and vanished. I don't know what the rest of the unit did, but I heard a similar thing. And you had all these guys running around trying to hunt 2 quarters here or an 80 there that's public access. There's not a ton of public access around here. And then they got, like you said, frustrated. Of course, it's the landowner's fault. I got told that by. I go, well, it's not my fault. But no, and I don't have that many antelope here anyway. But I did have a pretty nice buck on.
That's gonna be a lot bigger next year.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I seen them there, and another thing here, as soon as it starts, even the weather changing, I just think even we're a little too far north. They leave, and I know they head south.
Okay.
I know South Dakota did a complete study because South Dakota. I will say they're a little better than North Dakota. They wanted to know where these antelope are migrating, so they collared a bunch of them that were up here in Corson County and Perkins County along the border. Found out that just like we thought, they're traveling 100, 200 miles down south to Meade, Pennington, all those counties down there, and that's where they winter because it's a little easier wintering. That makes sense, right?
No kidding, huh? Wow. Yeah. We got a pretty good herd actually up here, and they actually winter up here too.
But
my wife didn't get her tag this year either, and she's had it 2 years in a row, a gratis tag, and she didn't draw either, Clay. So
it got all. I mean, it affected a lot of landowners.
It did.
And again, I don't blame the hunters, except I wish the hunters would have stepped up and said, "Whoa, wait a second, you guys do this, we're going to have problems," because they knew it. A lot of them did, but they didn't.
Right.
And Senator Clearly was dead wrong on this one, plain and simple.
Yeah,
I have no issue calling him out.
You don't. You call it out when you see it. But even like the deer gratis, there was an article a while back here, and Casey Anderson was in the article, and he could have shut it down right there. And they don't even help themselves. Exactly. He said, well, that's a legislative issue. It's like Casey could have shut it down. Like, hey, we're not going to go down that path at this time.
Well, all he'd have had to say, and I know they're supposed to say neutral, but you and I both know they don't give neutral testimony.
Exactly.
But rather than saying it's a legislative issue, whatever, you know what? Take your bureaucratic bullshit, because that's what it is, and cram it. What he should have said is, listen, we have a huge divide between landowners and hunters right now, and it got worse with the last bill passed. There's nothing stopping him from saying that. That all is factual information.
Correct.
So he could have said, I don't know if it's the right idea, but it definitely didn't work with the antelope tags. And end of story. That would have kept him from probably having his superiors above him come down on him and still get the message across. But he didn't.
Exactly. Yep.
He just kicked the ball over and said, "I'm not dealing with it because I'm a wuss." Yep. And we'll just give this answer that really means nothing. And
exactly.
And these district meetings, what a joke.
Right.
I don't know if you attended any. Mine was way up north. That was very convenient for a guy like me to have to travel over 200 miles to get to my district meeting.
Jeez.
Yeah. It'd have been better off in Bismarck. At least that was only 100. That was a little more central. Sure. But no, they shoved it way up north up there. And I couldn't believe that when I seen it. But they're probably afraid I was going to show up again. I don't know.
Well, I always make one, Clay, no matter where it is. If I can't make mine, I make it somewhere else. So
I probably would have went to it, but remember that was on Central Time. I'm on Mountain Time,
right?
So you got that. Luckily, I don't have a 9-to-5 job, but my son was dealing with some medical issues, so I wasn't going to ever make it anyway. We were dealing with that, but I tried to go to them. They used to hold them in Elgin, which I thought was great. Elgin is kind of where the heart and soul is of this area as far as hunting goes, and they They quit coming to Elgin. I can't imagine why. So, all right. Marty Beard. Hey, Marty. He says, I got service in the woods, treeing coon and watching the northern lights and listening to Guns and 701. So that's probably even more important.
Way to go, Marty. That's right.
And northern lights, yeah, they were out pretty good last night. Now, I can't say I came down here to do this. I can't tell you what they're like, but before I came down here, they weren't that bright around here. Gun Dog, North Dakota, good evening. Good evening to you. Dougie says, does the North Dakota Game Fish care about residents or money? Oh, that's an easy one. You want to take that one first?
Go ahead, Clay.
Oh, it's money. I mean, it's definitely the money. You've probably heard me say this, but I call the North Dakota Game and Fish the biggest fee hunting operation in North Dakota. And that ain't just this one. Any state, your game and fish department is the biggest fee hunting operation that doesn't have to give you results. You get an outfitter, if they don't give you results of some sort or service, they're not in business long, right? Exactly. I'm more than happy to pay someone who's going to give me excellent service. So North Dakota Game and Fish controls the tags. They control the number of tags. They control the fees. And how much service do they give you? None. Instead, they set up roadblocks like you're the mafia coming through, seeing if anybody broke the law in checkpoints like a DUI. Yeah, they're the biggest fee hunting operation in North Dakota that gives you zero service. I mean, am I wrong?
Well put, Clay.
Feel like Charlie Kirk. Prove me wrong.
Prove me wrong. That's right.
I don't know. I watched this. South Dakota dealt with this open fields doctrine down there for years, and then they created South Dakota lockout, completely shut down Western South Dakota. And I mean, it didn't matter. Theirs was a complete lockout. If it didn't matter if you were family, didn't matter if you were friends. Them themselves didn't even hunt their land. There was no hunting going on in Harding County, Perkins County, a lot of them Western counties at all, because then they had no reason to trespass on your land. And that was the whole big. Their open fields doctrine was just as bad as up here. And finally, when Christy Noem got in there, and people can yell at me all they want, but she got rid of that. And kudos to her for doing that. We need to eliminate open fields doctrine here too, as far as I'm concerned.
Yep.
I don't know if you've ever dealt with any of that, but game wardens have an awful lot of authority that really isn't constitutional in my mind.
Yep, and not constitutional whatsoever.
I literally stopped the one that was going to drive into my private property last weekend. We weren't hunting. The guys were sitting there. It was in the morning. Come back from a hunt. Just sitting there BSing, no guns. Just they had their orange on, and she felt that was enough cause to drive into my private property, which, by the way, she didn't make it onto my private property. And the reports were that I know people. She sent in reports that I was intimidating, and she felt uneasy. Well, next time, stay the hell off my private property, and you won't have to feel intimidated.
Exactly.
It's that simple. I don't care who you are. I'm not letting you on the property. Not unless you have a reason or you got permission. It's that simple. And I don't care if you got a badge and a gun. I don't have the badge. I got a gun. I mean, we can go down that road. And I suppose that's what scared her the most, even though she didn't see my gun. But I carry all the time. But maybe I have a reputation, and that could be it.
You are known.
Yeah. Dougie says there's some nice lights out here too tonight, Marty. In the session, I talked about that a little bit. Let's see. Okay, here's Kevin again. The guys I deal with don't make plans. They just grab a license. Next thing you know, they're walking on your lease, ruining my hunt. That's what I mean by annoying. Gotcha. And that's kind of, I think, where we were going was that people don't do no homework. They don't care. Respect goes a long ways, especially if you're non-resident. If you're in another state, I mean, why would you go in there and not try to make as many friends as you could so you could gain access? I've never understood that.
No, but I don't understand that either, but sadly there's going to be all kinds out there and you really can't control it. So you just control what you can. Right.
Says, do you feel that there should not be a limit on gratis tags? I feel that any landowner that applies for a gratis tag should get one. So if there's 100 tags in the unit, and 100 landowners apply, yes, 100 landowners should get. That is my feeling. What's the alternative, Gun Dog ND? We'll just close it down if we don't draw like we did this time. I work this land. I feed them animals. I put in habitat for it. I manage it better than the game and fish. They sell you a tag and say, sorry, we got your money. You might not have nowhere to hunt. And then tell me I can't hunt. No, not happening.
Bring up a good one. And I can relate to a majority of the sportsmen out there, Clay, because I've been hunting since I was 14 years old. I'm 43. And it has all been by permission, except for the last couple of years. And, thankfully, we're blessed enough to have thousands of acres, but it literally is spending time with the landowners, I mean, they're majority of them are my friends now. It's making relationships to find a place to hunt. So I don't feel sorry for anybody who doesn't have a piece of land to hunt, because you can make it work. Go out, fix fence, go work cattle, just go to have coffee with them.
If you put in the effort and want to do it.
Exactly.
It's that simple. And don't email somebody. Don't call them the night of.
Right.
You're probably going to get
opening day.
Show up opening day and roll in here at 30 minutes before 6 o'clock and knock on my door. No, I'm going to tell you no. And yes, that happened. Not this year, but I've had it happen. I'm just telling you, that stuff don't work. And the people I do have hunting here, I don't have my place completely locked down. Some are family, some are friends. And there's enough of us now on this piece of land with the amount of deer that are on it that I'm not going to let any more hunt. There's just not enough deer. I'm not going to kill everything on this place.
Right.
And everybody who's hunting this year isn't allowed to hunt a whitetail, including me. I don't have enough whitetails left, and they're starting to make a comeback. Let's give them a chance. Lane, hey, good evening, Lane. He's one of the guys that actually punched a tag last weekend, so congrats to Lane. I should have thrown the picture up here, Lane, but he made a hell of a shot too. Him and his dad both. There was a doe and a buck out there, and they just drilled them. I was so happy for them guys. Towards the end of the day, got them field dressed, thrown in the pickups, and just enjoyed the rest of the evening. So it was a good hunt. That's what it's about. Hunting is supposed to be fun. You're supposed to be around people you like, making friends, I don't know. I didn't start hunting until I was 16. I didn't grow up hunting. And I decided I wanted to give it a try. A friend of mine, his dad took me. I am the guy to take a kid hunting because that's how I got involved. I've been hooked ever since. And I do feel sorry for some of these people that are coming up and the way things are going. Luckily, this land, and we just signed paperwork today that will ensure this land should be in the family forever. So hopefully my boys don't have to worry about it, but it's going to get tougher, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's already gotten tougher. Yeah. That's why you need to make even more reason to go make some relationship.
Right. So I'll ask you this. Do you think if that effort was made, because I don't see that effort like I used to. Okay. I just don't. And it's not like when I was out there hunting where I did. People don't understand. I didn't always have land. I had to go out there and hunt a lot of public access land, and I had to make those relationships. Do you think if that happened more and people started saying, gosh, Dusty and Clay are right, Jamie and them guys are right, we should maybe make that effort. Do you think then that divide would shrink and they band together at the legislature and actually make good change? I think that would be the result if we could ever get it to happen.
Absolutely, I do. I mean, that's one of the big ways to unite sportsmen and landowners, right? Instead of sportsmen saying landowners aren't giving them any permission, locking everything down, how about going and making a relationship with the landowners? Well, there you go. You're uniting already.
Yeah.
Absolutely, that would help in legislation too.
Yeah, it would. I think it would help, because if you had the sportsmen and landowners united for a change, guarantee them legislators, they're not going to have any, they have no choice but to actually make the right decisions and listen to them. They just don't.
Right. And the people need to remember too, though, we're not owed a place to hunt just because you get a tag.
Right.
I'm not, like I said, I can say this too, because I've been a sportsman all my life. It just last couple of years we had a piece of land and I still hunt. Majority of my stuff is still by permission. You're not owed a place to hunt just because you get a tag.
Well, it's like me. So I hunt our place, of course, but with a gratis tag. Now, if I have a regular tag, or if I'm out hunting birds, I've asked all my neighbors, and likewise, we all are like, yeah, go ahead. And I ask every year, and they're, yeah, you can, but I ask every year because that's what you should do. That's what I was taught to do. So, Leon, he goes, I thought I was a Scrooge. Damn, Clay. Hey, Blackbeard, you always got a place out here. See, that's how that works, right? You make a relationship, you're friends with somebody.
Right.
So Gun Dog, he says, I guess the question is, if you don't pull a gratis tag, then you let nobody hunt. Let me say, I just moved up here, sorry. Including friends and family. That's actually, I let nobody hunt, and me and my sons can. Yeah. But if I don't draw a gratis tag, which has never not happened until just this year, so this is all new territory. But no, I didn't draw a gratis tag. My sons did, but they didn't fill. That's okay. My son actually got ill, so he wasn't out hunting. I'll be honest, I didn't feel like going out. But the only people that were going to be allowed to take antelope off this place were my two sons that actually had tags. And that's my choice. It's my land.
That's right.
And it's because they took our gratis tags away from us. I mean, they can say they didn't. It's only fair. Well, how fair was it when nobody got to hunt? Because it happened all over. And like you said, build a relationship, right?
That's right. Yep.
But
And more
nobody-
landowners, are awake now too. So next legislative session, if something does come up about the gratis tags, there's a lot more of us awake, like with your program, Clay, and stuff. So
I
we need to
imagine
be ready.
if I even see it show up, in December when they start writing bills and submitting them, I'll be going, Dusty, guess what? We're going to be in Bismarck a lot.
Right. You need to
I'll
spread
let
the word.
You can go up and be the nice, polite guy, and then I'll be the bulldog in the background. You just let me off the chain.
Sounds good. I think you're gonna have a lot of bulldogs if that pops up.
Lady says, yeah, thank you. He says, a great time it was. I hope you make it down. I know your tag is Punch Lane, but I hope you make it down this weekend. I know your dad and your brothers are planning to come. So I also have a couple friends coming from that Pingree area. So we're going to have a great time this weekend. And I even now they're not hunting my place, but my friends from Alabama that come up, talk about a long ways away, right? They're going to be in the area, but they're hunting reservation, but they're renting a house here in town. So yeah, it's going to be a fun weekend that I probably will get no work done.
That's all right, though. Put the work to the side.
There
Make
you
some
go.
memories.
Leon says social media culture has lost the ability to be personal. Boy, there's probably a lot of truth to that, isn't there?
Extreme amount of truth.
I think it's made people not talk to people. I think, texting and social media have made keyboard warriors and, I don't know, recluses. They just don't go out. They don't talk to nobody, and they have an entitlement. Some of them, not all of them, but they do.
Yeah.
They're right there. Leon, thumbs and keyboards don't have personalities.
You can take what you want off of social media. There's a lot of good stuff on it too, and to spread information, but it's all in your perspective.
Leon says, you are right. Social media has had a negative impact on society. I don't disagree with that, but it was headed there before even social media came. I think it put it into hyperactivity as far as that goes. Okay. All right, here we go. So I'll put this on. So if there's 100 tags from Gundog ND and 100 landowners put in for the gratis and get them, then no other sportsman is able to have a tag. There needs to be some balance, don't you think? Yeah, the balance is I own the land. If I don't get a tag, you don't hunt. You're not going to change my mind on this. I don't compromise on this. And yes, there's 100 tags and 100 landowners want them. They get them. They get first shot. Plain and simple. And it's been that way. The posting thing, we lost that by 4 votes, and everybody cried in the legislature as I sat in on just about every committee member meeting. And all they did was get up there, person after person after person against us. It's been a 100-year tradition. It's been a 100-year tradition. Well, you know what? Gratis tags go back about that far, too. So I guess we'll take the fur, fish, and feather groups, and we'll go with that mantra. It's been a tradition in North Dakota. We'll just stay with it.
Well, there's actually a few deer units already, Clay, that they all go to gratis. I believe there's 5 deer units.
Really? So I did not know that.
That's all gratis, yeah. Yep, I think they're in like the northeast part of the state.
Okay.
Yep,
Must be very low numbers there.
I think they are pretty low numbers. Yep. I wish I had that in front of me, but I want to say.
Yeah, we might have to talk about that, wouldn't we? So here, I know that now elk's different. When elk finally started to have enough population where they'd have, seasons, they do have a lottery. I think they started out with a lottery with their gratis. So, just an example, if there's 100 tags, which I don't think there's ever 100 tags in any unit, but let's say there was, and 50% would be the threshold. I don't even know what it is. Then they went into a lottery if it went over 50%. And that's, as far as I know, that's the way it's always been. And I think they can only get a gratis tag once they draw. And I'd have to look this up, but I think it's only once every 3 years. So you
Okay.
can't get one every year either. But they started it out that way. That is not how they started out. The gratis tags for antelope and deer. Those were always promised. So,
Sure.
it's, I tell you what, I would actually maybe compromise on that, but then you got to support all land posted in this state. I mean, that's the compromise, gun dog. I'm not giving it for nothing.
Yeah, there you go. And again, we need to focus on getting our deer numbers, where
Getting them up.
the sportsmen get more tags, correct? Yeah.
Yeah, and again, it's not a landowner, sportsman, hunter issue. It's a game and fish mismanagement issue. It absolutely is.
Exactly.
I think we need to push that narrative on both sides.
Yep.
First of all, you got to get a lot of these guys to quit giving their $25 a year or whatever it is they pay to these groups who go out there and get in bed with game and fish. Hey,
Exactly.
we bring people together here. He says he would absolutely support that. All right, so there's our common ground, and I would support that, honestly.
Well, it's just another reason why you just, get out there, get involved, and just chime in. We can all agree to disagree on certain issues, but look at,
But we might find common ground.
that's exactly it.
So Jamie says President Trump wouldn't have been elected without social media. Very true. That's a good point. I'm telling you, his people, and especially his son, Barron, really got him involved with the social media stuff.
Yeah.
And like him or not, he was the only choice because we couldn't have Kamal. So I'll tell you what, we come up on the top of the hour. We're going to take our big break here. So we got about 4 to 5 minutes there, Dusty, if you want to go grab something and take care of other business. And we will come back, and maybe I think we beat this to death. Unless you got anything else you want to add to this whole thing?
Nope, we're good. I'm glad we're getting to some comments.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I encourage that. And don't take my disagreement with you as so that I dislike you, because that's not true. But I do speak my mind. Just Dusty does a little more elegant job than I do. But, So anyway, everybody, thanks for tuning in tonight. Again, we're powered by Lauer Auto Repair, 309 South Washington Street, right up there off the expressway. If you want to check him out, 701-258-6308. Get that vehicle tuned up and go out there and get that hunting rig ready. We still got 2 weekends left, right? Well, and I got to look at the dates. And South Dakota opens up this weekend. And I live on the border now. All them deer can get pushed back up here. So, all right. We will see you guys right after the break with our sponsors. Go out there and support them. They're what makes this baby go. And tell them you heard it right here in Guns in the 701.
Lauer Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
When you want it done right,
Go where lemons go.
Kalen's Auto Service, owned and operated by Kalen and Misty Foss, lifelong locals with over 25 years experience. From modern rides to classic restorations, they can handle it all. Top quality work, fair price, and honest hometown values. Located just 1 block south of Highway 12 on 6th Avenue West in Lemon, Kalen's Auto Service, serving you with all your auto repair needs.
For the best gun gear for every and any situation, Little Angry Man Arms LLC has you covered. Top-notch guns from top-name brands like Winchester, Glock, Sig Sauer, and Ruger to essential extras from Magpul, Streamlight, Hollow, Sun Optics, and more. Little Angry Man Arms LLC have everything to make your shooting adventures a success. Visit littleangrymanarms.com today and gear up for your next big hunt, competition, or home defense. Don't miss out on our exclusive deals. Little Angry Man Arms LLC, based in Trail City, South Dakota, your ultimate hunting partner.
At Horton Laser Craft, we believe in the power of personalization. Whether it's a cherished memory, a special occasion, or a unique gift, our custom laser engraving brings your vision to life. Our expert craftsmen and state-of-the-art technology ensure every piece is a work of art. From personalized decor to one-of-a-kind keepsakes, Horton Lasercraft makes every moment unforgettable. Horton Lasercraft is owned and operated by a local veteran and his wife located near Thunderhawk, South Dakota. They provide custom laser products at a reasonable price, and their turnaround time is fast and efficient.
Custom board cutting, glassware, decanter sets, mugs, assorted stainless steel jewelry, assorted tags, decor, custom acrylic nightlights, and much, much more.
Call them up at 605-545-7535. Horton Lasercraft, where memories are engraved.
All right, we have returned again. Thanks everybody for tuning in. And I see X is on fire. We can't see that in our feed anymore because I guess X decided they're not going to give those numbers to Restream, so we don't get to see the live stuff. I could go check it out myself. But good evening over there on X. And your comments are coming through, so it's great. Just a little reminder: Friday, of course, I'll be on Mitchell in the morning at 7:15 Mountain, 8:15 Central in the AM hour. You don't want to miss out on that. Me and Todd always have a pretty good show. And then starting at I think it's 5 o'clock. Correct me if I'm wrong, Leon. I think it's 5 o'clock p.m. Mountain Time, 6 o'clock Central. Blackbeard Logic with Leon Francis. You don't want to miss that. Dusty, if you haven't tuned in, there's a complete different show, and he does a great job. So tune in for that.
Awesome.
And then Sunday we have our Sunday Sportsman Devotion with Vance Bishop. He does a good job with uniting sports topics along with prayer. So I encourage you all to listen in on that. Of course, every Wednesday night here, it's either me or Jamie with Guns in the 701 or 701 Nation. All right, with that, should we move into the next? Should we talk CWD?
Let's do it, Clay.
All right, I'm going to let you start this one out. Where do you want to start?
Well, you sent me that article in Wyoming, Clay, so let's just hit that up.
Sounds good.
I want to get that covered, and then we'll just take it from there.
Probably spend 3 hours on that.
There's always so much to talk about here.
You know what the headline was on that?
I don't remember the headline.
I'll read the headlines. A Wyoming mule deer herd is so riddled with CWD, it could nearly vanish. So I'll let you take it from there.
Yeah, so that's all we've heard about is Colorado, Wyoming, Saskatchewan for years, and 80 to 90% of the Wyoming herd is testing positive. And keep in mind, have we not learned anything from 2020 and the PCR test and the ELISA test they use for CWD is similar to the PCR test? We've even spoken to the manufacturers, and he said they're very similar. They're not picking up no prion in the soil or feces or lymph nodes, whatever they're picking up. Yes, I mean, you got predation in these areas in Wyoming, and I mean, I could just go on and on and on about these Wyoming studies. Well, any studies across the nation, really, but this Wyoming study is all test based, and these deer are more than likely dying of nutrient deficiencies in these soils, and that's why even in these studies and in these articles, they say that their data suggests that it's environmental, not even transferring from each other. Environmental would be nutrient deficiencies. Have they ever tried like minerals and supplementation in these mule deer in these areas? Because the older a deer gets, the more stressed he's been, the more winters he's been through. I mean, I can't imagine the stress on these deer.
Well, wouldn't you say that that'd be like anything? I mean, we give mineral to our cows. You give mineral to your livestock in general. I don't know about you, but I'm 51 years old. I take supplements. You know why? Because I'm not producing what I used to, even with the change in my diet and getting the things I need. I still need to supplement the things I'm not producing anymore. I mean, why wouldn't deer need that?
Exactly, they do need that. So it's actually quite criminal if they're not helping the deer through the winters and stuff and supplementation all on their own. It's very criminal.
So, I suppose, North Dakota's game and fish, I suppose their mineral program's pretty good, right?
Well, we did hear though that they at one of the advisor board meetings they actually admitted that that the wildlife and deer, they need supplementation in the winter to survive. Well, yeah, deer starve to death in the bad winter, so you either let them starve to death, which is nutrition, or you feed them to keep them help keep alive. The landowners are feeding them anyway. But back to that Wyoming study, it's all test based, and they're doing ear punches too. So they use an RT quick test to test for these so-called prions. We've even spoken to the bigwigs involved with the RT quicks, Clay, and they've never seen a prion. They make synthetic prions. So how do you make something for one that's never been even proven to exist?
I know.
And then they make these prions in E. coli bacteria. Well, what is that telling you? They're testing positive for E. coli bacteria. Like, this whole CWD narrative is just a total scam.
Yeah, and it took such a foothold. I always it always miffs me why a game and fish or legislators, there's always got to be some narrative behind it, because this just boom, and it really swept every agency and every federal agency, and they just dumped literally millions into this stuff with no real evidence.
Zero evidence, actually. I mean, like, we've had this conversation. We've been all over the nation, and we've done open records requests from our game and fish. Missouri's done them. Texas has done them. There is no such thing as a prion, period. Wouldn't that be the first thing after 60 years that you should be able to show us as a picture of a prion or prion? How do you make synthetic prions when you've never seen one? Like, this whole thing is just faulty.
Well, I imagine when you do get information, this agency will cite this agency, or this university who cited this agency who comes back to this. They cite each other and call it fact without anything. I see that in everything. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's CWD, gun rights, Second Amendment issues. You see that in their studies, gun violence, which don't exist, by the way. Same as a prion. Maybe the same people could find a prion for you that won't like gun violence. Yeah.
Why you throw enough money at it? The agencies will push anything, because that's what it is. You end the money and the testing, CWD literally just goes away. And we could put our funds into EHD instead. We've exposed CWD across the nation, and we're very proud of it, because the more we've dug into it, Clay, it is. I'm not saying a neurodegenerative disease doesn't exist in animals, because it does. But we also got rid of that in livestock back in the 70s. Alzheimer's disappeared in the 70s with supplementation.
Absolutely. And they don't talk about that either.
Exactly. But majority of these deer don't even have a neurodegenerative disease. These tests won't pick it up. So let's keep that in mind. They have to have an autopsy or biopsy of the brain and spinal cord to detect it.
Which they don't do.
There's been 7 clinical deer in the state of North Dakota after open records request. One was actually necropsied and sent to a pathologist. We actually contacted the pathologist, and she said, "Oh, no, I didn't say that deer died of CWD. I won't say that deer died of CWD. I just look at tissue." I go, what about prions? You don't see prions, you just see evidence of prions. It's just the mild and degrading, Clay. Like, this is the only one in the nation, and we talked to the pathologist, and it's the same thing. And she will not diagnose that deer died of CWD. So that is strictly our agency that put the label on it.
And so I look right here. 3F2 is a CWD unit. I live in a unit with CWD. It's had that designation for I don't know how many years. I have yet to see a mule deer, because it's primarily mule deer, that died of CWD. I had one behind my house. I didn't trust game and fish, so I sent it someplace else to be tested. No, it was not CWD. They were unsure. They thought maybe rabies. I don't know. I suppose that can happen, but it was not CWD. So all the years I've been hunting here, which is 20 plus years, I've never seen it. Yet it's this big pandemic that I'm told is just killing every deer around here. And I we discovered that it's not that, it's nutrition. And EHD, we know what causes that. Can we prevent it? I don't know, but we do know the cause of it. and they do nothing. Yeah. Anyway, we're kind of getting off subject there.
Right. But there's a lot to talk about on that subject too, though, because they claim CWD is like CJD in humans, Creutzfeldt-Jakob's disease, while 1 to 2 people out of a million people a year get that disease. Well, that is extremely rare. That is a rare brain disease. While animals get it too when they stress or years down the road, but it's just extremely rare. These tests are not picking up a neurodegenerative disease. Missouri's tested like over 300,000 deer, and they don't have one that's been autopsied. Only 5 clinical deer out of all these.
How many?
Over 300,000. I think they're pushing like 400,000 deer tested, Clay. And they've only had 5 clinical deer, and that's an open records request, and not one single deer was autopsied. Well, animals get sick. An animal can be spinning circles like that deer. You probably saw it. Yeah, it probably didn't even have anything. It was just a sick deer from. It can have a zinc deficiency and be spinning circles and emaciated.
Yeah, and I didn't actually see him when he ended up. The neighbor drove in and said, "Hey, there's a deer just went down." So he was right behind my trees, right behind my house in the windbreak. He must have been looking sickly. He didn't really say. And he just dropped there. Now, it was still alive when I got there. But by the time I had someone respond here, he had already died on his own. So, yeah, who knows what really killed that deer.
Right. Animals just get sick. Majority of the time it's actually probably pneumonia, because even in our agency's own documents, it's actually cwd-info.org. It's majority of the time they got to be autopsied. Well, all the time they got to be autopsied, because pneumonia is typically the case if the brain's not examined. Well, the only way to see myelin degrading, the brain has to be examined. A test doesn't pick that up.
And anyone that raises livestock, we have calves that get pneumonia. We have cows that can get that. It can be dust pneumonia, caused from dry conditions, or you might get, like we had here, an inch 80 rain and it turned cold, like 10. They're probably going to get a little sick because it got soaked, right? Even though we had barns, they still got sick.
Right.
So we had to treat some because they had pneumonia. That's exactly what they had, and you can tell it. They hang their head, their ears are just not feeling good. If you don't treat it, they die.
Yep.
I can't imagine wildlife wouldn't have the same things.
Exactly, they do. They get a lot of the same diseases we get. So it's just part of Mother Nature too. But we can definitely help them along, especially in the bad winters. Would make game change.
So looking at this Wyoming story, I've got it all laid out here because it's like a 15-page article here.
It is pretty long.
I mean, really. So I've done a lot of hunting in Wyoming, and I can tell you, I saw the decline of mule deer long before they started talking CWD in this area because of wolves. We found dead deer that had obviously been killed by wolves, possibly mountain lions. I would love, of course, they'll never admit that, but I think you probably, if you want to know what's killing off the mule deer, I mean, there's definitely going to be some disease. That's just natural. CWD, I doubt it. I would bet predators and, like you said, nutrition. Wyoming's went through some horrible droughts the past few years. They've got to have nutrient deficiencies.
Absolutely, they do. Yep, for sure.
But wolves, you introduce wolves into an area, what are they going to do? They're going to do what wolves do. They're going to stalk prey, kill it, and eat it, or not. That crap that they say they just killed a week, that's not true. I've watched it. I've literally been hunting and watched wolves pull down deer, and it seemed like it was for the fun of it, and then walk away.
Oh, man.
They didn't just kill the sick and the weak. They just went on a killing spree. Yeah.
They're devastating. Yep.
Yes.
That's why I don't believe any studies out there either, Clay, because they can make those say and read whatever they want. And 60 years later, and literally over $1 billion that we know of has been spent on this. Like, when do you stop? And you still have no proof that it even exists. So it's like, it's becoming quite criminal now.
Yes,
so
it is.
Somebody needs to be held accountable.
Absolutely. Tom Donaldson says, we had a house cat have a stroke. Cat spun around for several minutes before dying. Yeah, I mean, they're going to suffer from the same, animals suffer from the same things that we have.
Yep, absolutely.
Different variants and different reasons why, but they do suffer from that stuff. If predators are eating animals with CWD, wouldn't they have it? I don't know. I don't know how that transfers to a predator.
It doesn't transfer. It's not contagious.
That's kind of what I've been told.
Not even in the carcass.
There you go. There's your answer.
There's
And I
your
believe
answer.
Dusty before I believe Game and Fish. I caught your interview with Ted Nugent, so
Oh, you bet. Yeah, we did one
yeah.
here with Dan Schmidt too here a few weeks ago with deer and deer hunting. So it turned out
Yeah.
real good.
I haven't seen. I saw that one, but I haven't watched it yet.
Okay.
Hey, you're gonna have to hook me up with Uncle Ted. We got to get him on here.
No kidding, right?
That would be kind of fun. But anyway, and I don't know. I guess I don't. I try not to cuss, but I don't think I'm going to be able to restrict him.
No, not one bit.
But yeah, no predators. I don't know. We've been told this for years too, that how contagious it was. But it was only contagious if I put out a 5-gallon bucket of corn. But if they went to across the border and went to a complete corn pile, good to go.
It doesn't make any sense, does it? Nothing about it makes sense, Clay.
No.
Like
Well,
even in the articles, and I clicked into another link, in that
Mhm.
article, and they said the same thing, that it's environmental. What's that environmental? That would be predation or nutrient
caught that too.
deficiencies, or exactly. It's not contact to contact. And
And
all this is based on a test.
and a test that's real similar, from what I understand, it's exactly, or it has the same traits as what they were using for China virus, which gave false narratives too. It
Yeah,
wasn't really testing
86%, I
anything.
believe. You're right.
What's that?
86% false.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Some people say as high as 90, but I can, as we all learned, that wasn't what they said it was either.
Again, you should show us the microscopic slide of the virus too, if we want to go down that route.
Well, and coronavirus is a real thing. It's been in cattle for years. We actually have vaccinated for it. But it's not type 19 or type whatever it is. It's a variant. Well, how'd the variant get here? Yeah, there's a lot of ideas out there on how it got here, but I'm positive I had it during that time. I didn't go in, I didn't get checked, I didn't take the shot, I never will take the shot, and I got over it. Plain and simple. And now I do a regimen of ivermectin, and I don't have that. I do have a cold right now. It sure as hell is not China virus.
My wife and I,
global
we've hardly
warming,
gotten
dogs.
sick. We've hardly gotten sick at all through all this. So we've just been super healthy, But we really watch what we eat. We put a lot of supplements into our bodies, so we're believers in it. We've gotten rid of a lot of our problems, Clay. Even cancer on my face because of just changing habits.
Oh, absolutely.
No doctors included.
I mean, I went from about 240 plus down to 206. I'm in balance. I'm trying to get down to 195,
Wow.
but been having a lot of other priorities going on. But it's what you put into your body. It's what you do. It's going to affect you. Processed foods are horrible. I mean, environmentally, right around you. If you're chugging down sodas every day, don't quit doing that. That's bad. It's not good for you. I mean,
definitely a lifestyle change, Clay, for sure.
And it was a huge one. And not that I quit eating. I still eat meat. If I eat meat, well, I've always ate the meat that we do here. Nothing processed. I eat vegetables. I found I like asparagus, which I think shocked my wife, but I do like it. And all in portions. I still eat potatoes. I just don't buy them at the store. I get them out of our garden.
That's great. Yeah. You're just eating real food, Clay. I mean, we forget about that real food. Like we live off of deer. We try to put at least 5 to 6 deer in our freezer every year, deer burger and steaks. We don't even buy beef. We live off of deer, but you made a good point. Real food, eat butter, eat honey, eat fats. Yep. So
we have a milk cow. My wife milks. She'll calve here in April sometimes. So she'll come back in the milk. Well, with that milk, of course, we drink the milk, and there is nothing like straight whole milk, man. That has never been anywhere but here. Then she makes mozzarella cheese. She makes ghee. We don't use Crisco, some chemical made thing. No, she makes butter with it. We make so many things out of that butter fat. And you know what? My cholesterol hasn't climbed. It actually went down. My blood pressure, I'm not on blood pressure medicine anymore. I did take some to start getting that level down.
Okay.
But I'm not. Now I'm in the normal range.
That's awesome, Clay.
But it's all by changing diet. Flour. We do not buy flour at the store. Got her a flour mill, and we buy our own good wheat seed. I guess they call them. Well, they call it something else, a fancy name. But anyway, it's wheat, and we grind and mill our own stuff here. We substitute anything in the recipes. Generally, we don't use refined sugar. We use honey. I'd rather have honey. And then we're going to get into that before. I really want to talk about that before the end of the show. But honey is a huge thing, and it's really nutritious. It's very good for your body. And we use that in a lot of things. So it's all about choices and changing. Now, I still have one habit, and that's my coffee in the morning. But, that's
I'm
controlled.
with you there, Clay. I'm with you there.
But I do grind my own beans that I get now. So
that's awesome.
I do not use Folgers. That don't even taste like coffee anymore. But
right. No, I do get some organic beans too that I grind. So
yeah,
don't want to give up the coffee yet.
No, I can't give that up. But I gave up all the junk. I mean, every once in a while I still, and I loved chocolate. That was the hardest one, honestly. And I have a treat now and then, and that's okay.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
And then started working out a little bit. Then I got I'm not gonna go, but I got my ribs broke this fall. That took care of that. So I've been kind of, like I said, I'm still bouncing around 206-ish, but I haven't made it past that. But I'm healed up again. Maybe this winter I can start pushing that stuff again. But
you bet. No, that's great. And you talk about cholesterol levels too, Clay. Mine's actually 230. And they're supposed to be between 230 and like 270 to 300, which sounds high because doctors want you under 170. But every cell in our body is made of 30% cholesterol. It's not cholesterol. The bad cholesterol is just fried oils and fried Crisco. And you don't want to fry your butter too hot. It's the junk. Right. It's not that cholesterol is bad. Actually, it's a huge healer.
And you realize that that cholesterol level changed. It used to be higher until they decided we didn't want that. We gotta,
keep dropping it down.
We got to sell you
how important it is.
Yeah, we got to sell you a pill.
Exactly.
They wanted me to put it. They want to put me on a pill. I said that's never happening. But I'm good. All my levels are where I feel they should be. I feel good. I feel better. I really do it, but it takes commitment. I know when I told the doctor I was going to do that, she's like, yeah, whatever. And I came back 6 months later and said, wow. I said, well, I wasn't putting all them chemicals in my body. It wasn't going to happen.
Right. Good for you, Clay. That's right. Yep.
So I do believe that out in Wyoming, they have a, like you said, it's an environmental problem and not environmental like the greenies. I'm talking, they've had drought. They probably got issues in their soils. I've seen that decline out there. I think they have a predator problem. Big cats and wolves. Bears, I don't think bears are really taking that many down. I think they go after moose and elk if they go. Bears, they're kind of lazy, so they take the easy pickings.
Sure. What about like 3F2, your unit? Even in North Dakota, still there's a couple units where they give out too many tags because they're CWD units to keep the population low. I mean, is that part of it too in Wyoming?
It could be. I didn't go into that. I don't know. I really don't. I know they talked about a couple hunt areas that were in there, and they didn't say anything, and I didn't go check to see what their tags.
I think I read something about not necessarily the tags, but how they want to keep it low density, so the deer don't spread the disease. But it's
they did say that. So I don't know how else they do that other than kill them off, right?
Exactly. Kill them off.
Let's not forget, the more tags you sell, the more what you get?
Exactly.
Money. Yeah. So, and especially if they're non-resident tags.
Right.
So yeah, I got nothing against non-residents, and I think you hit the nail on the head at the beginning of the show. It's not a landowner hunter problem. This is a wildlife management problem, and it's been poorly managed by Game and Fish, and it just has.
Yeah, downward spiral at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to hit on the Wyoming thing? I mean, I think we've covered this a lot on here with you and other places, and
yeah, I think we have to at the CWD, but feel free for people to have questions or comments in there too. I'd love to answer anything. I like when people play the devil's advocate too and hit me with some hard questions. So.
Here's one right here. So Eric, he says, I got it here a bit late, Dusty. Can you give me a quick background as to your knowledge? And I can vouch for him, but go ahead. I'm sure that he can sum this up pretty easy because
I don't know. It's probably a longer story, Clay. You could probably sum it up quicker than me. We've been all over the nation when it comes to CWD. So
I would say if I had to sum it up for him, he's like me. He had questions. Just like I had questions. I wasn't always a Second Amendment expert. I had questions about the laws and things that were happening. Well, he had questions about what Game and Fish was taking, as we all do on different matters. He started researching, then he started going, wait a second. I think they're lying. I mean, essentially, that's what they're doing. Follow the money. Became an expert on prions, became an expert on probably freedom of information requests. By the way,
Yep.
they're not as easy as you think sometimes. It just depends on who you're doing them from and how cooperative they want to be. Started looking into the laws, the management, numbers, real numbers. In fact, I'm a numbers guy, Dusty, just like I think you probably are. If the numbers say differently, I believe the numbers, not the agency. Plain and simple. So that's where his knowledge is. It's self-taught. And we don't need degrees. I don't know. I went to college. I thought it was a bunch of BS, and I dropped out because I was making more money before I went, and I was doing better. So I didn't return. But just because you don't have a college education doesn't mean you're dumb. We all can read the same books and the same information. So that kind of sum it up.
Yeah, it's a good sum up. Experts is supposed to mean experience. So our boots have been on the ground for years across the nation, not just talking to the animal side, but human side, pathologists, and you name it. So
right. Yeah, and you guys did. I mean, Eric, these guys did one fantastic job presenting information. I think it's probably now, you went through that legislative process. Everybody knows who you are, at least in North Dakota, I have no doubt. They know what you guys did up there, and you won. That's the big thing. You won.
And won big too. We didn't just beat the agency. We beat some of the
Porter and the crew.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll say it.
Yep. Nobody understands what a feat that was in there.
Huge. Porter has a grip on this, and him and the Game and Fish. I'd like to know what kind of background deal they got there, because that's not natural.
No, that's the hard part about legislation. There's quite a few legislators in there that are like that with the Game and Fish. So the name the Game and Fish know it too.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm sure it's stunned them. But now we've worked with attorneys in Texas. We saved a guy's deer ranch from getting slaughtered last year when we testified in front of the Texas Animal Health Commission, just like our Board of Animal Health Commission in North Dakota, and just helping Missouri and several other states. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. Eric says, right on. Thank you. I'd agree with most, if not all, what Dusty has to say. Keep up the good work. There you go. And I can tell you, Eric, he knows. That's why we have him on to talk about it, because he knows what the hell he's talking about.
Well, it's like everybody, you just get going on one topic. Not everybody can hit every topic, Clay.
No.
I mean, you're the Second Amendments guy, and we're the CWD, and somebody just needs to, get out there, hit a topic, research it, and dig into it. And
absolutely. That's all about, if you don't understand it, I wasn't always a Second Amendment. I mean, I loved the Second Amendment. I hunted. I had some guns. But when I started seeing infringements back in the 90s when I was in high school, I started questioning things, which led me to start looking at laws and what's going on and why. And yeah, eventually I'm lucky enough and blessed. I pretty much remember everything I read. So that helps.
that does.
But yeah, I became really, I would say I'm kind of an expert on especially gun law, especially in North and South Dakota. I guarantee you I know more of the Century Code and the codified laws in North and South Dakota on guns than most law officers that are out there. Maybe probably more than most attorneys anymore. But I live it and breathe it, just like
That's
you
right.
do with this.
That's right.
Oh.
Yep. And anything the government's pushing, we just need to remember to turn our head and go the other way, because it's probably not true.
Well, yeah, I've learned that I'll trust but verify, but I don't even do that with government anymore. I just assume they're lying to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I really do, because that's where we are. It really is.
Lied to about everything.
So, all right, we're coming up on basically the last segment here, the last half hour, last 20 minutes. So we're going to do a quick break. Thank our main two sponsors. I want to talk honeybees. We haven't done that. I want you to tell us about your business. And you and I think share, and I'm new to this whole honeybee thing, so maybe I'll learn something tonight. But we'll be right back.
Lauer Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
When you want it done right,
Go where lemons go.
Kalen's Auto Service, owned and operated by Kalen and Misty Foss, lifelong locals with over 25 years experience. From modern rides to classic restorations, they can handle it all. Top quality work, fair price, and honest hometown values. Located just 1 block south of Highway 12 on 6th Avenue West in Lemon. Kalen's Auto Service, serving you with all your auto repair needs.
All right, we are back. Hey, thanks. I forgot to mention everybody over on Rumble. Thanks for tuning in over there too. We still haven't been able to get that to feed into here. So now we got X and Rumble that aren't feeding into the viewership, but at least we got our X comments coming on. And X has been on fire tonight. I've been going over there to look, and we appreciate everybody tuning in. So anyway, Kevin says pre-ground coffee tastes like cardboard. I agree. I agree. Yep. Dougie says asparagus fried and bacon grease. That's delicious. And bacon grease ain't bad either. No, I'm telling you that. So,
Right.
my wife does a good job with it. I think she puts a little Parmesan. We got to give it a little taste there. And she, like I said, she cooks everything in ghee or butter.
Okay.
And
you
ghee
bet.
is made from milk. So
Yep, that's great.
Quit using Crisco. Quit using Crisco, everybody.
Crisco, yeah.
Horrible.
Even oils. Like my wife renders our own tallow. Cooking tallow, it's great.
We started doing that again here. And we actually, when we did our last pig a couple of years ago, we rendered some. It lasts a long time too if you do a bunch of it.
It does.
Lard is great, man. We cook with it all the time. Everything tastes better. So yeah,
It sure does. Fat and butter. That's right. Tallow and butter.
you need those animal proteins. We were
Yep.
designed for that
Yep.
since the beginning. So, all right. Well, so let's talk a few honeybees. And
You
like I said,
bet.
I'm new to this. We've always had them here on this place. I'm allergic to them, by the way. So I can't be around them. And I always used to, oh, guys, are getting dry out now. They're in my water tanks. But I've learned to love the honeybee. And especially after I've learned all the things about honey and the health benefits, which I consume probably a lot more than I should because it's so good. But I do try to control it. But go ahead and tell us why we need bees and what's your business, right?
Sure. So we've been in the honey business for probably at least 20 years, roughly. We started in Nebraska, but Nebraska, where I grew up, my wife and I, is pretty much all corn and beans and not even much alfalfa. So it wasn't really good for honey production. So that's what
Right.
brought us to North Dakota. And South Dakota, North Dakota probably does have some of the best honey nationwide just because of the alfalfa, sweet clover, sunflowers, just some really good crops as far as tasting honey. But we've been doing it for 20 years, and our big business is honey production in the fall. We sell 55-gallon drums because we're commercial beekeepers. And we do jar up some honey for our landowners and our locals here too. Like my wife sells quite a bit just out of the house. But honey production, and then we pollinate the almond orchards in California the month of February. So our bees, basically, to throw the time frame in there. So from October 15th to about March 15th, our bees are in California, but they're only pollinating the month of February. They're just sitting out there where it's warm the rest of the time. And then from March 15th to June 15th, they're in southeast Texas, kind of down by Houston, where that's where we raise all of our new queens, because we get rid of our queens every year, and there's one queen bee per hive. We get rid of, and we have roughly 1,400 hives, so 1,400 queens, but we requeen every queen every year because they're so much more productive.
I was
You
just
get
going to
them
ask
into
why
year-
you did that. Okay.
You get them into year 2, the queens aren't as productive, where she's not laying as many eggs, and the hives aren't as strong, and therefore they don't make as much honey. And then sometimes the queens will go bad and they can't requeen, and then you lose that hive. So
So when they're newlyweds, yeah, they're productive. And then all
Very
of a sudden
very
get lazy fat
productive.
or what? No. Oh, no,
Very
don't
productive.
email me now. No.
But no, it's been really good. And North Dakota's treated us well for sure with honey production. You know, you catch some range, you get some sweet clover years, and that's just the best tasting honey too.
Yeah, so I've got 2 sites on here. We're gonna try to add 2 more next year on this place. I mean, I don't have the biggest place, but he thought we could do it.
Okay.
And last year I had a ton of sweet clover here, or I should say this year, but this season. And oh my goodness, and he does. I request, and I imagine he's doing it just by the flavor of it. It had to come off that clover. That's really good honey. It's nothing
isn't it?
like honey coming off of clover. And he's really good. He did his, who he bought the business from, which was the guy that was here before, did business with my father-in-law. I mean, they've been here a while, this company. So we really appreciate. He's out of Missouri. That's where he resides really most of the time. But
you bet. That's great. No, it's the bees are just great for the environment and the ecosystem too. And I mean, they pollinate a third of the human diet, which is pretty fascinating too. I mean, it's over 100 different crops that the bee pollinates. And even though sometimes the farmers don't see it with the canola, like soybeans, sunflowers, a lot of times it's 10% or more increase in yield by having bees. Unlike the almond pollination in California, an almond tree doesn't produce a nut without a bee cross-pollinating from male to female trees.
So bees are very important to our existence, really, right?
Extremely important to the ecosystem. Yep. And they're really ran off of frequency. We used to think that, a bee can smell a flower a long ways away, but it's more of the world is just more fascinating than we can even imagine. The flowers and what happens out there to them it's almost like music. They ran off of frequency. And that's why, like, when you have a cell phone,
right,
and you put your cell phone out in a bee yard, the bees absolutely attack your cell phone. That's putting off some EMFs, exactly, that they do not like.
So I've researched frequency and frequency therapy and stuff like that. And I learned in that we used to actually, most music instruments were tuned to, 433. And now they're tuned to a 440 hertz, which is actually not good for us.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think the bees kind of run on that, and that, being there in nature, they're still using that 433? And I don't know. I mean, frequencies are important. People don't understand that either.
Extremely important, exactly. And I mean, when you go into a bee yard too, and when you hear their humming and stuff and the frequencies, it's actually extremely stress relieving and relaxing, believe it or not.
So that makes me think that they're tuned to the 433 because that's kind of the natural frequency.
Yeah.
And I've even noticed that you can actually get music, even your popular songs. Somebody has taken them and redone them to that frequency because you won't even notice it, but you will notice it after you listen to it. You have a way different feeling. It's completely, I don't even know how to explain it. Just do it. Even if you want to try it out tonight, hop on CommiTube, put in their 433 frequency music, just pick one and listen to it. See how you feel. You'll be surprised. It's a real thing.
Yep. But they're beneficial. The honey's beneficial, because every time the bee goes to a flower too, they get microscopic pollen too. So the honey you eat, you want to make sure you get it raw and get it local, because they're making the honey off of your sweet clover, your trees, your bushes. And there's going to be that pollen in there, and that's why they say it's good for your allergies, and just good to have your local honey, so it's not filtered and cooked at high temperatures, because there's also good digestive enzymes in honey as well.
Well, and that's here. Our honey, he says it comes from your place. He tries to make sure and do that for us. I think he does that for any of his customers. I don't know how big he is or how big of an operator, but I haven't asked. I mean, I suppose I could, but
sure.
I love the fact I kind of gotten to where I want to know my stuff comes off my place that I eat. And that's just kind of cool knowing that. Not everybody can do that. That's very true.
Right. Yep.
But this year, like I said, that stuff was exceptionally, I know darn well it's because we had those 2 sites over there by all that clover.
Yeah, that sweet clover, you just can't beat it. With the rains and stuff too, we've had it for like 3 years in a row, and it makes just fabulous tasting, good honey.
Well, that's why we're looking at these 2 places. So the new site where I'm going to put Sandfoin in, but I'm just learning about that. He's excited about it. He says it's a great crop for bees. I don't even know how long it takes to establish it. I'll find out. But I also have clover over there, and it's in the opposite years where the other site is. It's only every other year. Okay. So I got sweet clover over there. So yeah, we're going to put a site over there, and And then I don't know. I've just, what would you recommend? What are some of the better things to plant that not necessarily a farmable crop, but like that over there? I plan to put stuff over there to attract bees, wildlife, deer, stuff like that. What would you put in as a permanent flowering crop that would be good for bees other than sandvine?
Permanent, kind of like what we hit on earlier, would be some, I would say, some pollinator blends, especially if you're into wildlife and stuff, because there's just like, you can get anywhere from 10 to 40 different flowers in some of those blends that are just incredible for everything for the environment. And they're long lasting too once you get them established, kind of like the switchgrass we talked about. But I would recommend that for bees. I would definitely draw the bees, butterflies, just a lot of the good bugs that you want just for the wildlife, the birds and stuff.
Yeah, and it does. It makes a difference. I've seen it personally, the little bit I've done here, and I suppose that's why I have more. I mean, granted, we had an open winter last year. That helped. So my pheasants returned.
Yeah,
that bad winter, it don't matter. When you get a bad winter, it wipes out everything. So,
it really does, right?
Bees survive because you guys pull them out of here in the winter. Butterflies pass through, so they usually come back. So those and birds, but when you talk about pheasants, big game, if it's a rough winter, you're going to have a winter kill. It's just, it's going to happen. So
the way it is,
But no, I'm a big proponent of, I've been telling everybody, put bees in. Listen, I'm allergic to them, so I got to kind of stay clear of them. But I'm just so happy they're here because it seems like everything's doing better here since we added to them.
And again, like we talked about earlier too, Clay, it's not just one thing, right? I mean, it's just a lot of things when it comes to us, and we're all just part of the environment. The trees, the pollinator blends, the bushes, the bees, the livestock, the wildlife. I mean, we're all in one.
Oh, absolutely, and we're all dependent on moisture.
That's huge.
And we get usually 5 to 7 inches here. That's the whole year. This year, I quit keeping track at 20 inches.
Oh my!
I probably never. I don't know. I'm 51 years old. I might see it again in my lifetime, but I don't know. That was just an unusual amount of moisture this year.
That's unbelievable.
I mean, it was green through October here. The weather was nice. It kept getting rains. It's like you'd have thought it was the middle of summer down here last month.
Really?
I mean, yeah. Which my cows loved it. I was able to graze longer and take advantage of some winter. What we'd be calling winter grazing, but it's really not winter grazing.
Right.
We've had some cold evenings, so now it's finally starting to brown up. But we were able to graze a long time, which helps on hay. I mean, I was able to save on a lot of hay. So
that's great. That's kind of the same here. Like even where they combine the wheat and a lot of that stuff came back pretty nice, and the cattle are still out there grazing. The grass is still pretty green in our yard. I mean, for the middle of November, it's wild.
Well, a neighbor cut a bunch of oats down for hay early because it was so good. I think he could have went in there and cut that again. But he didn't. I don't know if he plans to graze it or what he's going to do. But that stuff, I mean, it wouldn't have been the best crop, but why not? I would have probably. Yeah. And that stuff came back, and it was, me to waist high. That's pretty good for a voluntary second crop of oats. So,
like I said, moisture is huge.
Well, is there anything else? We're coming up here. I try to keep these at 2 hours. So anything else you want to kind of hit on? What do you got any plans for the 2027 legislative session yet?
We really don't at this time, Clay, but like we talked about, we definitely got to be on our toes too and be ready for anything. So
absolutely.
At this time, no, because the bill that we got through, the sunsets in 2029. So
right. And I think with the results we're going to see that we should be able to, I'm hoping to make that permanent.
Well, it should be very easy to make permanent. They're not going to have any data. They're just not going to have anything. So what I'd recommend is for all the hunters out there listening, spread the word. Do not turn any samples in. Samples turned in do nothing for the hunters, do nothing for the sportsmen. What's the point? They
and they're not scientific.
Exactly.
You throw a whole bunch of heads in one bin, or you cut a whole bunch of lymph nodes out and send them all at days. Science, I don't know. I've done some of this stuff. You have to have a control. Okay, that's your baseline for your experiment. Then you have different. They're sanitary and they're very. You don't throw everything and lump it all together and go, gee, I'm testing for a supposed infection disease, but I'll just lump them all together.
Exactly. Cut them out with your knife. Send the samples in. It makes no sense. For what? To go slaughter deer? Give out more tags in that unit to slaughter more deer that we don't even have? Like, it's pointless.
Yeah, I've never seen such an unscientific way to conduct to conduct research, because that's what it is. I mean, even simple grade school biology tells you not to do that. Yeah.
Exactly. $1 billion spent. So, I mean, just
$1 billion.
there's been over $1 billion that we know of, so.
Can you imagine the mineral program we could have had for deer?
Oh my gosh. Right. Exactly. You know how much money that we could be saving probably our deer from EHD if some of that money would be put towards that.
I wouldn't doubt that, even though we know that, what the mite kind of, it causes that. It what lays a larvae. If we had a mineral program for that, you can do so. We do it for cattle rather than me giving it shots for different things. I add garlic, or I add this, or I add that to try and control flies.
Sure.
Rather than putting another chemical into their body. So
yeah,
it can be done. If you guys ever want to look, and they can talk all they want, there's books out there with what our Sioux tribes and other Indian tribes used for medicine. They weren't dumb. They learned the land. Some of that stuff works. Some of it, but there is some good positive things from some of the things in plants that they use to treat certain ailments. And it's just, you can't deny it. So I would really highly recommend looking into some of that stuff if you're looking for some good reading. But
yeah. So don't give them any more data, I guess. That's what I'm going to end it.
I never, you know what? I just never fill my takes, right?
That's right. No surveys, because our open records request, they use those surveys against us too, Clay. And there's so much we could talk about on that topic too. I mean, in the department, they wanted to use surveys and go in there. And this is somebody from the department. I won't mention his name. They wanted to go through and figure out everyone who was anti-baiting and get them to write letters and testimony, Clay.
Wow.
I mean, this is their open records request in North Dakota Game and Fish. So we don't need to hand in any more surveys. We don't need to turn in any CW samples.
No, I don't feel. And if you do it online, just hit no, didn't harvest, and you're good to go. So that way they won't let you. If you hit yes, then it wants all this. It won't let you move on. So that's the easy way to do that. Just hit no.
Yeah. And if you don't want to say no, then just don't even fill them out.
Yeah, don't even fill them out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Well, thanks for listening. Again, don't forget Friday morning. You started off Mitchell in the morning. Yours truly right here at 7:15 Mountain, 8:15 Central. And then Friday evening, Blackbeard Logic. Leon Francis, he's going to have another great show. I know he is. And if you haven't been following the socials and everything, go check his stuff out. He's been doing some little shorts and doing just a great job. So want to check him out there at 5 o'clock Mountain, 6 o'clock Central. And then again, Sunday morning, we have the Sunday Sportsman's Devotion. And that starts at 7 o'clock Mountain Time, 8 o'clock Central. You don't want to miss that with Vance Bishop. So with that, everybody, thank you very much for tuning in. It was another great episode. Dusty, thank you. I thought this was a great show, and we were winging it. We really were, but I guess we kind of know what we're talking about.
Appreciate it, Clay. Hey, we'll make a good team. Thanks, everybody, for listening, too. Appreciate y'all.
All right, guys, keep your powder dry, and we'll catch everybody here next week.